Hey everybody, hope you guys had a good day today. Well, first things first, oh, my throat. I know you guys don't know about this, but I've been trying to get in touch with Social Security to see if I can get an aide. An aide, basically a person that would help me get to my doctor's appointments, pick up prescriptions and stuff like that. Now, they were supposed to give me information. I should have received it by now, but they haven't. So, and Mondays and Tuesdays is not a good day to go up there. So, well, I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. Oh wow, that's a shocker, right? No, Larry's got a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. Wow. So I'm gonna be going up there Wednesday, and I'll let you guys know what they said. Now, I know yesterday I gave you guys a little bit of a rant about gun control, and well, I don't know if you guys been keeping up with stuff in the news, but government wants to restrict it more. But if you see my previous video, you know how I feel about it, so I'm not going to say anything else on that subject. But I do have another subject. There's a few of you guys that already know this, but the rest of you guys do not. I am for the decriminalization of marijuana. Now, because first of all, sorry about that. The law is actually race-based. And to prove it to you guys, I have a little thing here. I'm going to read it to you guys. A little history lesson here. Theodore Roosevelt appointed Dr. Hamilton Wright as the first czar on drugs, basically, in 1908. Yeah. We were fighting drugs way back then. Now, in 1909, Dr. Wright attended the International Opium Commission in Shanghai. Oh, yeah, I bet you they did, as the American delegate. He was accompanied by Charles Henry Brent, the Episcopal bishop. On March 12, 1911, Dr. Wright was quoted in as followed in an article in the New York Times. Of all the nations of the world, the United States consumes most habit-forming drugs per capita, opiums, and things like that. Most precious drug known to humanity is surrounded in the country with far fewer safeguards. Okay. White further stated that cocaine is the direct incentive of a crime of rape. Now, I'm repeating this word for word here. So if certain words offend people, please take the content and the years that this was written. Okay. Cocaine is often the direct incentive to the crime of rape by the Negroes of the South and other sections of the country. Even though there was no evidence to support this claim, Wright also stated that one of the most unfortunate phases of smoking opium in this country is the large number of women who have become involved and were living as common law wives or cohabitating with Chinese in the Chinatowns of our various cities. This gets better. Part 2. By 1914, the problem had grown to the point where the estimated one U.S. citizen out of 400, which is 0.25%, were addicted to some form of opium. Now, I'm not saying that they're not telling you that, well, most of the painkillers that they were giving out people for, for pain, basically, were opiates prescribed. But they're not telling you this. Well, they do hint upon it. But they don't tell you that it was also being prescribed to white guys, but yet that's not into what this law, what they were trying to pass, what they were doing. Okay. The opium addicts were mostly women who were prescribed and dispensed legal opiates by physicians and pharmacists for female problems. You know, PMS, you know, and stuff like that. Now, they say the only way that white men were getting it were through the opium dens that were run by the Chinese. But yet they don't say that they were also being prescribed it too by doctors. But they're not going to tell you that. Like I said before. Between 2/3 and 3/4 of these addicts were women. By 1914, 46 states had regulations on cocaine, and 29 states had laws against opium, morphine, and heroin. Now, the last part of this. Like I said, a little history lesson. Several authors have argued that the debate was merely to regulate trade and collect a tax. However, the committee report prior to the debate on the House floor and the debate itself discussed the rise of opiate use in the United States. Harrison stated that the purpose of this bill could hardly be said to raise revenue because it prohibits the importation of something upon which we have Heathrow collected revenue. I don't understand that part, but okay. Later, Harrison stated, "We are not attempting to collect revenue, but to regulate commerce." House Representative Thomas Sessions stated, "The purpose of this bill, and we are all in sympathy with it, is to prevent the use of opium in the United States, destructive as it is to human happiness and human life." The doctors played on the fears. Now, I'm reiterating that I am putting up that there are certain words that may offend, but take in light in which this was written, please. And this is not my views. Okay? The doctors played on the fears of drug-crazed, sex-mad Negroes and made reference to Negroes under the influence of drugs murdering whites, degenerate Mexicans smoking marijuana, and Chinamen seducing white women with drugs. Dr. Hamilton Wright testified at the hearing for the Harrison Act. Wright alleged that drugs made blacks uncontrollable, gave them superhuman powers, and caused them to rebel against white authority. Yeah. Dr. Christopher Koch of the State Pharmacy Board of Pennsylvania testified that most of the attacks upon most of the attacks upon white women of the South are direct result of cocaine-crazed Negro brains. Yeah. Before the act was passed on February 8, 1914, the New York Times published an article entitled "Negro Cocaine Fiends Are Now Southern Menace, Murderers, and Insanity Increasing Upon the Lower Class Blacks" by Edward Huntington Williams, which reported that the Southern sheriffs had increased the caliber of their weapons from a .32 to a .38 to bring down Negroes under the effects of cocaine. But yet they tell you that the law is not based on race, but as you can tell from the article that I read to you guys, and that was just a brief part of it. There was a lot more to it. That, yeah. The war on drugs was started with this act, the Harrison Tax Act, I believe. Yes, Harrison. If you want more information on this, look up the Harrison Narcotics Tax Act. And you get more of it, but I just gave you one part of it. That was the beginning of the war on drugs. This act is basically what started it. Now, during a time where this was passed, the Democrats had control of the House and Senate. And this act was, as you can tell, pushed by Southern Democrats. So do you think that a Democrat president is going to say, whoops, even though this happened way before I was born, that my party screwed up? No, I don't think so. Myself, that is. You know, like I said, I'm for the legalization and decriminalization of marijuana. You know, legalize it, regulate it, tax it. You know, and some people say that, and I know there's going to be some people on here that's going to say it, that marijuana is a gateway drug. No, it isn't. Think about this when you're opening up your 6-pack of Budweiser. Or next time that you light up that cigarette. Those are gateways. But yet, those are regulated. Alcohol and tobacco kill more people, has killed more people than anything. Alcohol and tobacco have killed more people than the combination of World War I and World War II and Korea and Vietnam wars combined. But yet, they're legal. You would think that our government would have learned by the prohibition of alcohol but no. They're too But like I said, this was the first law of the war on drugs. Like I said, the Harrison Narcotics Act. There's many other ones, but this was the first one that I know of that I could find. Oldest law that I could find so far. And like I said, you know, archaic. In other words, it needs to be changed, people. We as taxpayers are spending billions of money on this war, on this so-called war on drugs. The only people that are profiting from it, the drug cartels, and these people who are doing these private prisons, these prisons that are not run by the state, but are run by corporations. So these corporate prisons. They're the ones that are making the money off of this. We're spending it, and they're taking it. So you can't tell me that this is, and another thing, you can't tell me that this isn't money. This is all about money. Well, I'm over a little bit, and I don't know if this is gonna take my full video. So, it's Lord saying, peace, I'm out. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good Lord willing. Bye.